Did you hear about the evil person who tried to steal a calendar? He got 12 months. Now, if only recognizing evil in real life was that straightforward. Ever come across someone whose actions made your eyebrows shoot up faster than a popped champagne cork? Well, you might just have encountered what we call an evil person. Don't fret though, we're here to help you navigate these murky waters. So buckle up as we dive into the 13 warning signs you are dealing with an evil person. First off, manipulation. Evil people are masters at this game. They weave intricate webs of deception, using their words and actions to control and exploit others. It's a distinct characteristic of their malevolent nature. They are adept at identifying a person's weaknesses, fears, or insecurities and using them to their advantage. They may disguise their intentions as concern or friendship, but in reality they're manipulating you to serve their own needs and desires. These individuals are skilled at making you question your own judgment. They'll make you believe that you're in the wrong when you're not, and that their actions are justified when they're far from it. They'll twist and turn facts until you're left confused and disoriented, doubting your own perceptions. Manipulation is a powerful tool in the hands of an evil person. It's their way of maintaining control and keeping you within their grasp. So if you feel like you're being manipulated, it could be a red flag. Next up, lack of empathy. It's like they're missing a human chip. This trait is often found lurking in the shadows of those who are truly malevolent. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is a fundamental part of our human nature. It's what binds us together. It's what allows us to connect on a deep, emotional level. But when you're dealing with an evil person, this crucial component is often absent. They seem to lack the capability or the desire to sympathize with the feelings of others. They might appear indifferent to your pain, your joy, your struggles, or your triumphs. This doesn't mean they're incapable of understanding your emotions. On the contrary, they may understand them all too well, but they choose not to engage, not to share in your humanity. It's as if they're missing a piece of their soul. Remember, if someone doesn't show empathy, it's a warning sign. Moving on to signs 3, 4, and 5, constant lying, narcissism, and irresponsibility. Quite the unholy trinity, isn't it? Let's begin with constant lying. This is not just your garden variety fibbing. We're talking about a persistent pathological tendency to deceive others. These individuals are masters of manipulation, spinning webs of deceit with such skill that it's hard to distinguish truth from fiction. They lie to gain power, control, or simply to create chaos. When dealing with such individuals, it's critical to remember that they often believe their own lies, making it all the more challenging to confront them with the truth. Next up, narcissism. Narcissists have an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. They often go to great lengths to maintain an image of perfection and superiority, even if it means hurting those around them. Narcissists are profoundly self-centered, viewing others as mere extensions of themselves or as tools to be used for personal gain. Lastly, we have irresponsibility. This is not just about forgetting to take the trash out or missing a deadline. We're talking about a consistent pattern of neglecting or disregarding obligations and commitments. These individuals often act without considering the consequences of their actions, leaving a trail of broken promises and shattered expectations in their wake. They lack the ability to take ownership of their actions, often blaming others for their own failures and shortcomings. Now you might be wondering, how are these 3 signs interconnected? Well, they all stem from a disregard for others and a focus on self. The constant lying is a tool used to manipulate others and maintain control. Narcissism feeds into this, as the inflated sense of self-importance leads to a lack of concern for the feelings or needs of others. The irresponsibility ties it all together, as these individuals often act without considering the impact of their actions on others. So, constant lying, narcissism, and irresponsibility? Big red flags. Now, let's talk about signs 6 through 9. Cruelty, no remorse, ignoring boundaries, and a love for chaos. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Well, let's break it down. Cruelty, the first sign on our list, isn't just about physical harm. It's about deriving pleasure from causing suffering. It's about a twisted joy in watching others squirm. This can manifest in various forms, from subtle emotional manipulation to outright physical abuse. Then comes no remorse. You see, a common trait among evil people is a complete lack of guilt or remorse for their actions. They don't feel sorry for the pain they cause. Instead, they justify their actions, often blaming their victims or the circumstances. It's as if their moral compass is not just broken, but entirely missing. Next up is ignoring boundaries. Personal, emotional, physical, you name it. An evil person doesn't respect any of them. They'll invade your space, disregard your feelings, and trample over your rights without a second thought. This disregard for boundaries is a clear sign of a lack of respect and empathy. And lastly, we have a love for chaos. Evil people thrive in turmoil and disorder. They create drama and conflict, simply for the thrill of it. They enjoy the power and control they can exercise in chaotic situations. It's like a moth drawn to a flame, but in this case, they're the ones starting the fire. So, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. Cruelty, no remorse, ignoring boundaries, and a love for chaos. These aren't just random negative traits, they're hallmarks of an evil person, a destructive force that sows discord and pain wherever they go. Each one of these signs alone should raise a red flag. Together, they paint a chilling portrait of an individual who is not just harmful, but downright dangerous. So if someone shows these signs, you might be dealing with an evil person. Finally, let's wrap up with signs 10 through 13. Enjoys others' pain, consistently negative, superficial charm, and blame shifting. Quite the cocktail of evil, wouldn't you say? First, let's delve into the unsettling realm of those who find pleasure in others' discomfort. The 10th sign is when someone seems to relish in the pain, distress, or discomfort of others. This could manifest as laughter at someone's misfortune, or a smirk when delivering bad news. It's a chilling sign that the person you're dealing with might not have your best interests at heart. Next up is the 11th sign, consistent negativity. We all have our off days, but an evil person is persistently negative, often using their pessimism to bring down those around them. Their glass is always half empty, and they're all too eager to spill yours too. It's like they're a rain cloud, ready to dampen any sunshine that comes their way. Then, we have the 12th sign, superficial charm. Beware of the wolf in sheep's clothing. This person may initially come across as charismatic and likable, but it's all a facade. Beneath their charming exterior lies a manipulative and deceitful nature. They use their charm as a tool to draw you in, only to use and abuse your trust later. Finally, the 13th sign is blame shifting. An evil person will never accept responsibility for their actions. Instead, they will always find someone or something else to blame. It's always the traffic's fault they're late, the dog's fault the house is a mess, or your fault they're unhappy. It's a classic tactic to avoid accountability and keep you second-guessing yourself. Remember, these are signs you're dealing with an evil person. So stay vigilant, trust your instincts, and most importantly, know your worth. You're far too precious to be tangled up in someone else's web of evil. So, we've journeyed through the dark side, identifying 13 warning signs of an evil person. Let's do a quick recap to make sure these signs are ingrained in your memory. Firstly, we touched on manipulation. Remember, an evil person may try to control your actions or emotions for their own gain. They may use guilt, pressure, or even charm to get their way. Then we delved into the lack of empathy, a chilling sign that you're dealing with someone who just doesn't care about the feelings or well-being of others. We also discussed constant lying, narcissism, and irresponsibility. These traits can showcase a person's inability to tell the truth, their excessive self-love, and their tendency to shirk responsibilities. Cruelty, lack of remorse, ignoring boundaries, and a love for chaos were next on our list. These signs can reveal a person's true nature, showing that they can hurt others without feeling guilty, disrespect personal space, and even thrive in chaotic situations. Lastly, we explored how an evil person might enjoy others' pain, consistently exude negativity, exhibit superficial charm, and shift blame onto others. These are some of the most deceptive signs, as they often hide beneath a facade of charm and charisma. Now that you're equipped with this knowledge, you're better prepared to recognize an evil person. Stay safe out there,